And welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. The right-wingers are staking out the hardware stores. This is the latest in the anti-Biden conspiracy theories. Lumber truthers. The price of lumber is up. It's up in some cases as much as 200 or 300% in some parts of the country. Now, there's a number of reasons for this. The first reason is that there is incredible demand for housing right now. And you know, it requires lumber to build houses. There's been all this pent-up demand during the year of the COVID. We're gonna see a lot of dislocations and things in the marketplace here over the next year. But so there's a lot of demand for lumber, number one. Number two, people were stuck in their houses for a year, and a lot of people did remodeling. I mean, you know, places like Home Depot and whatnot, especially if they deliver out to your car, you know, contact-free delivery, we're just shoveling stuff out the door because people were doing things around the house because, hey, they were stuck. And number three, and actually I think this may be number one, this may be the most important one. We had this bomb cyclone. Remember this back last month, I believe it was, or maybe the month before, where Arctic air came down literally from the North Pole all the way down to Texas and destroyed literally over 1 million homes. Pipes bursting, walls being, you know, busted apart by water, floors collapsing, things like that. And what was the result of that? The price of copper is exploding right now. Those pipes have to be replaced. In many cases, the wiring is being replaced. And the walls had to be replaced. Sheetrock and wallboard and lumber are you know, in demand. No, there's no, I mean, you know, there's not yet a shortage like there's the gasoline shortage, you know, that's starting to hit the Northeast, and we'll get to that in the third hour, as I mentioned. But now we've got these guys with cameras. Remember when the COVID was going on, and they were showing up in the parking lots of hospitals with video cameras going, or with, you know, cell phones or whatnot, putting it on YouTube, going, there's no cars in the parking lot. How can they have a COVID epidemic? How can their ICU be full if there's no cars in the parking lot? Well, it's because those people were brought in by ambulance and because their family can't visit them. That's why. I mean, you know, it's kind of obvious. Well, now they're doing it with trainloads of lumber just stacked up. Oh, my God. This one video has been seen over 500,000 times, and Donald Trump quoted it. It was cited by Zero Hedge, the pro-Donald Trump blog, as proof that lumber prices were being artificially inflated. So, you know, there's that. There's also, you know, a couple of the issues that Julio and I, you know, that being our crazy alert for the day, there's also a couple of the issues that Julio and I were talking about where I think maybe, yeah, I mean, these are important points. The first is that Julio's principal assertion, I think, was that elections are typically actually base elections. Yes, we know primary elections are very much base elections. You have to crank up the base to win the primary. And that's the giant fear that is happening in the Republican Party right now. These guys are getting ready for the primary season. It's not November 2022 that they're worried about. It's March of 2022. It's the primaries that are coming early next year for every member of the House of Representatives. And they're trying to get past the base, but the base of the, and yes, the base of the Republican Party showed up to vote for Donald Trump. You know, hey, the white racist base, they love the guy. And the base of the Democratic Party turned out to show up for Joe Biden, even though he hadn't particularly energized the base. You know, the base realized the stakes here. But now the way he's governing, I think the base of the Democratic Party is really cranked. And I'm very optimistic about 2022 and 2024. So, you know, I think these are real things and you know, that need to be attended to, that we need to notice, you know, these base things. But I think that it's going to trend toward Democrats instead of Republicans. As to Julio's predictions about the stock market, yeah, the stock market goes up, the stock market goes down, right? I mean, it's just, this is like, that's life. And to attribute it to any one thing is typically a huge mistake. And generally, the major thing that drives the stock market, at least since the 1960s, has been Fed policy. It's not taxation. It's not, Julio's argument was, if you finally start taxing these rich people on the money they're making in the market, because they haven't been taxed before, they've just been taking the money and sticking it in their money bins. But if you tax those people, they're going to get out of the market. No, they're not. Maybe some of them will, but where else are they going to go? Right there, that's no reason to get out of the market. In fact, if you get out of the market at that point, that means that you have to pay the tax, which is kind of circular logic. So I'm not really down with that. But I do think that this belief that Julio asserted and that other Republicans are asserting that Donald Trump actually won the election is not only dangerous and destructive to America, but I think it's dangerous and destructive over the long term to the Republican Party. It's going to get a bunch of Republicans through their primaries in the spring. That's what they're worried about. But I don't think it's going to help them at all in November 2022. What do you think? Do you think that this is going to turn out the Republican base? I think the Republican base is shrinking.